We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time.
Jordan Peele created this fake video of President Obama to demonstrate how easy it is to put words in someone else's mouth.
Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet.
Not everyone bought it, but the technology behind such frauds is rapidly improving, even as worries increase about their potential for harm. This is your Bloomberg Quick Take on deepfakes. Deepfakes, or realistic-looking fake videos and audio, gained popularity as a means of adding famous actresses into porn scenes. Despite bans on major websites, they remain easy to make and find. They're named for the deep learning artificial intelligence algorithms that make them possible. Input real audio or video of a specific person, the more the better, and the software tries to recognize patterns in speech and movement. Introduce a new element like someone else's face or voice, and a deepfake is born.
It's actually extremely easy to make one of these things. There were just some supposed, breakthroughs from academic researchers who work with this particular kind of machine learning in the past few weeks, which would drastically reduce the amount of video you need actually to create one of these.
Programs like FakeApp, the most popular and widely available for making deepfakes, need dozens of hours of human assistance to create a video that looks like this, rather than this. In August, researchers at Carnegie Mellon revealed software that accurately rendered not just facial features, but changing weather patterns and flowers in bloom. This advance is not yet available to the public. But with increasing capability comes increasing concern.
This is kind of fake news on steroids, potentially. We do not know of a case yet where someone has tried to use this to perpetrate a kind of fraud or an information warfare campaign, or for that matter, to really damage someone's reputation. But it's the danger that everyone is really afraid of.
In a world where fakes are easy to create, authenticity also becomes easier to deny. People caught doing genuinely objectionable things could claim evidence against them is bogus. Fake videos can also be difficult to detect, though researchers around the world and at the US Department of Defense have said they're working on ways to counter them. Deepfakes do, however, have some positive uses. Take Cereproc, a firm that creates digital voices for people who lose theirs from disease.
Speech synthesis is the artificial production of human speech.
But you get the main point. I'll leave the link in the description below, Lord willing, if you want to watch it for yourself. But I do want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem Kakadash, that binds the apostles and elders, great millstone, for teaching this truth. Peace and blessings to the hopeful collective Israel and Shalom. Back with a lesson, and today going to dive into these deep fakes, which I believe I made a lesson, like a month or two ago, kind of dive into the situation also, and how these deep fakes will be used in order to demonize, in order to persecute the prophets, the men of the Lord. Because why else would you need technology that copies and mimics people's actions, the way they speak, the way that they move? Why else would you need it? When we're diving into that today, diving into these two quick articles I got, and diving into these few scriptures that that came to mind. And Lord will be edifying lesson, because you can definitely see how is it going to be used for, or with bad intentions, And they're especially going to target the prophets, the men of the Lord that are prophesying and bringing out this word, that's prophesying the downfall of the devil's kingdom. And this is who their main target is, That's why you see them constantly making these algorithm changes and doing what they can in order to put a stop to this word, to this truth. But as you're going to, you can't do anything against truth before the truth. But it's time to quick articles. Don't want to make this a super long lesson by dive into a few points, because this will be used in a bad way. If you can see it, and it's pretty obvious how these things would be used. And people are gonna say, there's benefits to this and that. Well, there's more. What's what I'm looking for? More bad than good, for lack of better words. And now it says U.S. Special Ops want to weaponize deepfakes, the intercept. So he went in the military in order to, or want to use it, because that video I just played right there was over 4 years ago. I think that Key and Peele video came out, I think it was like a long while back. I think 7 years ago maybe, if not that. So imagine the things that they have now, especially dealing with their, Project Bluebeam and all this stuff. But now, officials are seeking technology to falsify images for propaganda campaigns. Documents show the Pentagon Secret Operations Branch is seeking capabilities to deploy the next generation deepfakes in information warfare and hack the Internet of Things to track their impact. A procurement document has revealed the intercept reported on the initiative on Monday. read a little bit more. The document in question outlined a technology wish list for U.S. Special Operations Command, which is responsible for Washington's clandestine military actions around the world. It was first published in 2020 and the last update in October 2022. Adding tools that can falsify images of public figures to its desired inventory, according to the outlet. So they're planning, to use these things for, obviously their benefit, in order to, push out false information, and also mainly to demonize the prophets and the men of the Lord that are bringing out this word. Putting our face, on certain people that are doing, something stupid, something wicked, in order to paint us in a bad way, or ultimately to paint the ministry as a whole as something terrible, Because once again, these things, the deepfakes are not going to be used for good. They can literally put your face, mimic your voice, and slap it on a different person, make it seem like you did something when you didn't. So the persecution is coming, the scriptures go into it, man. Because we're going to be demonized on a whole another level. Because right now, it's on the lowest scale now, but very soon it's going to be ramped up. As you see what these devils are planning to use, but especially with these deepfakes, man. The next command, the command's military information support operation is seeking a next generation of deepfake or other similar technology to generate messages and influence operations via non-traditional channels in relevant near-peer environments, it states. Read the last bit and we'll jump into the other article. So deepfake technology uses publicly available imagery to create a digital version of a person. So they could use our videos and do all these different things and slap our face on other stuff. It's literally telling you right here. So deepfake technology uses publicly available imagery to create a digital version of a person, which can then be used to fabricate footage. And you already see the demonization that's going out on the prophets already, man. Calling us a cult, a hate group, doing these using these angel provocateurs and all these different things in order to, paint a terrible image on the ministry. Because somehow you'll see a shooting happen with a Jake, and it somehow correlates back to the Hebrew Israelites, the black Hebrew Israelites, as they like to use that word. There always is a word black into it, which can then be used to fabricate footage that is currently used mostly for entertainment, including the production of fake, porno, featuring celebrities. So, dive to the articles. This one right here, defeating the deepfake danger. So you see just how, ultimately dangerous it will be, as you already see in that video we played earlier, going to, Barack Obama and a few other presidents, being deepfaked, where you have a person pretty much mimicking and copying their movements and speaking like them, and you can't even really tell, So once again, main point, we're going to face persecution and the demonization, man. But, we have Yahweh Shema Shah on our side, man, the one true living power, the one true living God. But now, so deepfakes are becoming increasingly popular with cyber criminals, and as these technologies become even easier to use, organizations must become even more vigilant, which I believe they have a an app where you can pretty much just download it, pay for it for a certain price. I don't know the exact price, but you pretty much use it on your own laptop, And that's for the public. Now imagine what these devils have behind the scenes, As deepfakes quickly advance in terms of sophistication, they can be scarily convincing, as we have seen in some examples, and which more. They're becoming increasingly popular with cyber criminals as these technologies become easier to use. The introduction of Val-E, for instance, has raised new concerns about the ability to make deepfake voices quick and easy. So now they're able to also mimic your voice. They could take our voices, from these videos and make a collage of, vocabulary, make us say some things that we didn't, and also, slap your face onto it, just for the cherry on top, to make it seem like you are doing things and saying things, when you didn't. So this is the persecution and demonization that's to come. So it's like a broken record, but gotta push that point across. Many Jakes don't see the problem with this. They think it's cool. It's for movies, for this and that. No, it's not. They may use that as an excuse or as a forefront to continue to, fund money into it. but it's going to be used in order to demonize and to persecute the men of the Lord, the prophets, man. You know, to paint this ministry as something terrible, as something bad. You know, to paint this truth as something crazy, you know. As you always see them like to use these big words in order to demonize this, you know, the extremist and conspiracy, all these different things, man. You know, these big words. Now it says Matthew 5:11-12. Now it says, "Blessed are ye when men shall revile you." And this is what's coming. We're going to face persecution, demonization. You know, we're going to be hated, we're going to be outcasted. You know, especially when you start implementing these mandates and restrictions, you know. But it says, "Blessed are you when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake." That's what's coming. You know, as you really see, you know, what they're calling the apostles, you know, the elder brothers, you know, at Great Millstone. The demonization that's already going out, which though it may be on a kind of a lower scale, now it's increasing, man, and it's going to get on a level to where they're going to use our faces, our voices, you know, and it's going to get ramped up. You know, you have the the apostles, the elders' faces, you know, being thrown onto the news. You know, blessed are you when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Now so rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. There is a reward and a prize waiting for us if we continue to endure and remain faithful to all these things, man. That's why it's going to James 1:12, and you know, many other scriptures go into, if we endure, there's a prize waiting for us, man. Wait, one more time, verse 12. And it says, "Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you." So showing you we're not exempt from these things, you know. Because it's going to how a spirit of a prophet is subject to the prophet. So if you're a prophet back then, you're a prophet back today. And just how they have persecuted us back then, it's going to be the same thing today. And just how they persecuted our Lord Yahweh Shai, we're going to face those things also, because we're not exempt from those things. Now, this is John 15:18-20, main point. "If the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you." So also goes to show that we're doing something good, you know, if we're being hated by the world, if we're not being accepted, you know, in this society, because it's all nothing but wickedness and confusion. You know, and if you go against the grain, against the fashions of this world, you're the bad guy. You're the so-called oddball, the odd one out, you know. But it goes to show that we're doing something correct, man. One more time, "If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you." But also going to show the persecution and the demonization that's to come. Now it says, verse 19, "If you were of the world would love his own." So there you go. If we were of the world, we'd be accepted, we'd be loved, we would put on a pedestal, as you see these wicked ass people today. "But because you're not of the world, but I've chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you." Now it says, verse 20, main point, "Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord." So showing you we're not exempt from these coming persecutions, the demonizations, these attacks. You know, because this is what's to come. You know, this is also part of our lot, man, as a prophet, man. You know, as a teacher. We're going to have to face these things. You know, and many Jakes that come into this thing don't really understand the magnitude and the seriousness of what we are a part of, man. You know, what can really go down. You know, our lives are at stake, man. You know, our lives are on the line. And you have Jake want to play around and take things as a joke and as unserious. Now, remember the word I said unto you, the servant not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. So this is what's coming, you know. As if they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. Now, a few more. Matthew 10:22-24. So, but going back to a bit earlier, you know, our words can be held accountable. Now, verse 22, "And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endures the end shall be saved." Going to Jeremiah 37, going to times of Jacob's trouble, you know, where we're going to be tried and where we will be tested, as well as James 1:12, Revelation 3:10. There's going to be a reward waiting for that at the end of the finish line. You know, that crown of life, man, salvation, power, just, you know, everything, you know, that the Lord promised us, man. Verse 23, "But when they persecute you in this city, flee ye into another. For verily I say unto you, ye shall not gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come. The disciple is not above his master," as we read earlier also. How the servant is not greater than the Lord. The servant, or the disciple, is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. There you go. Now, we had a few more scriptures, and we shut down from there. Not going to be a long lesson. did want to make a quick update because I last time I made a lesson was going to a similar situation. 2 Corinthians 2:11. Let me see what these devils are doing. Lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So we can see how these deep fakes and also the deep fake voices will be used for obviously bad, not for good. Because why else would you need technology to mimic and copy a person's face, their movements, as well as their voice? What benefit or what good can come to mind, from doing those things? Nothing. Because it's ultimately all going to be used for bad. Amos 11 through 12, though they may use certain things as a forefront or as a what's the link for? Ultimately as a forefront, to make it seem like it's something when it's not, But now it's Amos 8, 11 through 12. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord God, because ultimately will be used also. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord God, thou will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread nor thirst for water, but hearing the words of Yahweh Bashim outside. So very soon, we're going to come into the famine of the word, and Yahweh Bashim is going to strip away, his word, his truth, off the highways and hedges, off the internet, may shut it down. So these are times that we are coming into, and it's why we push it so much, the seriousness, the urgency of seeking the Lord, getting as much of this truth and knowledge as you can, because very soon the Lord's going to take it away. Now, verse 12, Egypt and they shall wander from sea to sea and from the north, even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh Shai and shall not find it. So very soon the Lord's going to take away his word, and you're going to have many people trying to seek out Yahweh Shai, trying to seek the prophets, the men of the Lord that are bringing out this word, that are teaching this truth, but it's going to be too late. But ultimately, that's what their main goal is, to get rid of the word, but it's ultimately to the spirit of Yahweh Shai, because very soon, the Lord's going to take it away, and using these devils to do it, to push out these deep fakes, there's many other things, man. As you see with these algorithm changes that they have already. Now, let's see the last few scriptures, Psalm 85:21, because these devils are not to be trusted. Once again, though they may say they're using it for something else, you can see what it's going to be used for. As we read in an article, how you have the U.S. special ops want to weaponize it, man. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Esau is a smooth talker, man. This devil is a deceiver. Called the devil for the reason. For the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. He's seeking to do mischief, wickedness against you, man. His words were soft and oil, yet were they drawn swords. Psalm 58:3 after that. Now let's get King James. It says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. So these devils come out the womb lying. Natural born liars. They go astray as soon as they be born speaking lies. What the NLT has to say. It says, these wicked people are born sinners. Even from birth, they have lied and gone their own way. As we're looking at Isaiah 26, and I believe the 10th verse, how they can't learn righteousness, man. The Lord says the devil up to be wicked, to be the bad guy. And you can see the things, or I should say, he's living to that part, Because that's what the Lord set him up to do. Now, Job 9:24, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked, because we're speaking of Esau, Edom here, man. The wicked the Bible speaks of. The scripture going to Malachi 1:4, how Esau, Edom is the border of wickedness. So what makes you think these deep fakes are going to be used for the good of humanity? For movies and just all these different things, man. Because they're most definitely going to be used, once again, for bad. As we read in the article earlier, they're going to be used for, it's going to be weaponized. Nothing good's going to come from it. Especially towards the prophets, man. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. As we read earlier, or as I mentioned, Malachi 1:4, who is wicked. Speaking of Esau, Edom. Now, the earth comes to the hand of the wicked. He covers the faces of judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Now, I think I have like 1 or 2 scriptures. Let's see what we got. Got one more. I'm going to shut it down from there. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 10 says, never trust thine enemy. So we're not to trust our enemies in the scriptures right in front of your face and not trust these devils, man. A lot of people want to continue to put their faith and trust in Esau, Edom, thinking that they're going to be exempt from the things that Esau Edom's going to do. Speaking of these false prophets out here, you see with these other Israelite camps selling out. Especially those of our people that want to completely just put their faith and trust in these devils in Esau, Edom, thinking that these devils, the government is set up for their own good. And you got nothing coming, but we over time never trust an enemy for like as Iron Russes so is his wickedness. Not to be trusted, man. But once you pretty much the main point already, as you already see the deep fakes and what they're ultimately going to be used for, obviously not for good, and how ultimately going to be used in order to demonize and to target the prophets. The persecution's coming, man. And we need especially be building ourselves up in the spirit, especially within the faith that we're able to endure these coming times, and especially pray to Yahweh Shai to have mercy upon us and to keep us during these days, man, because it's finna get bad out here. But hey, we have nothing to fear. We have the one true living power, Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai on our side, by doing to give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakadash, that belongs to the apostles and those great millstone for teaching us this true peace and blessings to the whole collective Israel. Shalom, see you next one, Lord willing.